Hello guys, and welcome to this video about product development. Learn how to develop and market a product. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go through these steps that are required for these new product development that we're going to go through, and it all starts with an idea. Okay, so it's basically in the beginning, the first stage is when you generate an idea. Okay, and once you have not a idea, once you have a couple of ideas which are which could be of possible good prospect, then what you do is you need to screen them out. Okay, so that's the next step of our product development. It's idea screening. So you might have 20 ideas. From that you need to filter it out. Okay, filter the good ones. You need to see which one is fit with your capabilities and also with your passion. So you need to screen the best idea out, and which is also financially prospective. So step number three is concept development. Once you have your ideas screened, what you need to do is you need to develop your concept, right? So let's say if this thing is actually going to work or not, or what could I do, what else could I do that could impact my audience even better. Okay, my target people, basically target audience. Now after you develop the concept, after you get feedback from your people, your audience, you need to do system level design. That means you develop your idea, how you can develop the prototype and stuff like that. And on the next step is basically testing and refinement. So you create your product, and then you create your alpha, beta and pre-production versions, and then what you do is you give it to people and check what facilities are they taken in, or what good, what's bad. You take feedback, and it should be a lean method basically. And once you get these methods, what you do is you have a good fit for the product, and you see your audience is ready to buy your product. What you do is you ramp up the production. Okay, that's the next step. Now let's go through these points and learn a little bit more in depth. Okay, so number one step is how your product should be. Okay, so for any business to be out there, okay, for any business, so as you've probably learned about the basics of robotics, and you know how to design a product, right? You know the basic versions, like how we design these and that. Okay, robots. So now it doesn't have to be robots, it can be any technological product. Okay, it can be any product literally. Okay, so for any business to work, this is the knowledge that I got from $100 Startup by Chris Gillibo. So if for any business to work, you need a product or a service, and then you need a set of customers. That means one point is left, product or service that solves a problem. And number two is you need customers. That means the audience whose problem you're going to solve. And number three, you need a way to get paid. Okay, you can't give them free service, or you can if you're a non-profit, but since we're learning about making or building businesses, building products, so we're going to learn about these basic stuff. Okay, so that is, you need a product or service, you need customers, and you need a way to get paid. Now let's get back to the idea generation stage. So how can you generate ideas? Okay, so what you can do is for starting, you can brainstorm. Let's say you have a passion for something, or I'll teach you some of the brainstorming methods. Okay, so let's say if you have any books nearby or anything or surrounding you, you can just look up to that thing and write that down on a paper. And once you write that down, what you can do is you can brainstorm anything that comes related to that. Okay, so for me, let's say I love startups. Okay, basically I love learning about them, I love working for them, I love making them. Okay, so that's why I have this thing startup written, and I've done this exercise before, so I'm just gonna repeat that for you now. And I have this other word that came into my mind, it's jam, jelly, so startup jam. So I have this two words with me, and how can I make a business out of it? How can it solve a problem for people, right? So startup jam. So this thing sounds like company or something that helps startups, right? So in the end, or it's all about providing value, how much value you can provide to your people. So startup jam would probably help the startups to scale, to build, to grow, and advise to the founders or how they can solve the problems in a better way, innovation, all of these things in startup jam. So you can come up with something I'll give you a minute, or you can pause the video and find two words and start with the idea generation, and then it could be a related fields. So let's say we're going to design obstacle avoidance robot, right? So even if you can write obstacle avoidance robot there, and then what you could do is you can check that how can these obstacle avoidance robot be used, right? So let's say it can be used for like with blind people, right? Like people who can't see. What you could do is you could give them these ultrasonic sensors, and if something comes near them, you could detect it, right? And we could use these ultrasonic sensors in cars, in motorbikes and bicycles, right? If something comes near them, it's going to set an alarm or something, or it could be in burglar alarm system, anything, right? So these are just some of the ways you could do that. Take a minute now, like a minute or two, and brainstorm a couple of ways, and if you can't do that, you can write to me. I'll help you do that. Now after you get all of these things, you need to see and screen your idea, like which idea would be a good fit, right? So let's say you can't really make everything. You need to find a better product, like a one product that would be suitable for everyone, like with your audience, like that's actually going to solve a problem, right? And once it solves a problem for the users are going to love your product. They're going to take your product right away, okay? So that's what you need to do, okay? Idea screening. Now number 3 was concept development, right? So once you have these screened idea that you're going to create this product, you're going to create this robot. I mean, you can create a humanoid robot, or you can create just a terrain robot, or you can create a wheelie robot, anything, right? Or you can create an arm robot. It depends on your purpose, right? So you need to see like what exactly your robot is going to do and how it's going to do that, right? So once you know these steps, once you know these things, you can develop your concept, right? You can work with your audiences, you can work with your target customers, okay? So let's say if I want to develop an arm robot, what can I do? Arm robots has different purposes, right? It would definitely carry something like or it should be working in an industrial setup, or if it's a cobot, that means collaborative robot, it's still going to work in industrial setup, or if you want to make it widespread, it's probably going to work with vendors, right? That's the thing. So I need to develop the concept a bit more to find out the best fit for my product and business, okay? Now after you do the development of your concept, you can find out the system level design, okay? So what is the system level design? So system level design is basically you know, going through your detailed version of your design of your systems, okay? So it's basically the, you know, sketching up and the like 3D designs and all of these stuff. And once you know that, yeah, the ins and outs, the functionalities, the what's it's going to do, how are you going to do that, how are you going to accomplish that, what's other facilities does it have, like does it have any sensors, what kind of sensors is that, what other functionalities does it add, okay? So what value does it give to the audience? That's the thing. Now once you finish with the once you're finished with the system level design, what you do is you start with the testing and refinement. So in this section, what we do is we test and refine, okay? So that's literally in the name, right? So how do you test it? So you make your product. If it's an app, you make the app and then you go to your customer and tell them to check it. Or if it's a robot, you go to your customer and then tell them to check it, okay? So if it's working fine or not with their, you know, specifications, those things. And once you get feedback from them, you refine the designs, you refine the, you know, purposes, all these things. I mean, you can have all the features in the world, but you don't need all the features, right? So that's the thing. So you need to find the best fit. Like you can give 2-3 features and then you can give this thing to your customers, okay? Just to see like how the whole mass audience is reacting to your product, okay? How are they giving feedback? Or is it good or bad? That's the things. Now after that, you can, once you get feedback from your testing and refinement, like once you create your alpha, beta and pre-production prototypes, just to test and understand the audience's views, audience's feedback, then you can do the production ramp up, okay? So you can like create products in bulks, and then you can like get orders, pre-orders. So that's another notion. Once you get the pre-orders from your customers, then you can you know, send the products to them directly, okay? So that would be production ramp up stage of your product development, and that's how you can scale a product like from the beginning to the end, okay? So these steps, you don't have to do it like all in, you know, a very swift way. What you could do is you have to put them in steps, okay, in order, and once you do them, you will learn about each and every step, okay? Once you do it practically, I can give you all the theories of the world, but if you don't do it practically, you will never learn, right? So that's why I would like to encourage you to do and make your products step by step, and since you'll be getting this course for all the time, since you'll be downloading it, you can come back to it again and again, and Google is always there, so you can just Google it up. Okay, so that's how, and use the steps wisely, use the steps and learn from the steps. Okay, and the life cycle of the product would be determined by all these steps. Okay, so you start with your idea, and so let's say at the end the product is not working and you're like hitting a slowdown with your product. Okay, like you're not selling enough products because there might be some problems. You probably haven't taken enough feedback with your audience, or it's not solving the problems from your audience. Okay, so in the next lesson, in the next video, we're going to learn about the market research basics. That's going to help you to find out more about your audience, how they're going to react. Okay, and here for your life cycle, your product's life cycle is basically from idea to the end. Okay, so once you go through all of these things, like idea to the product ramp up, okay, to the audience, okay, to get to your audience's hand, that's the thing. So once you go through all of these things, we would like to encourage you to go through a lean methodology. Okay, so it's very important for entrepreneurship. So these days, like you create a product and just give it to the audience and check it, and with their feedback you improve it. Okay, you can't really like create the ultimate version of your product and just give it to them, because they might not react in a good way and you'd be wasting a lot of time, right? So there's this book called The Lean Method, The Lean Startup, I think, yeah, by Eric Reyes, and which is a great book, by the way. I would encourage you to read that as well, and that's going to be very helpful for you if you read that. And the whole idea of that book is basically to work in a lean way. Okay, you create your product, you get feedback, and you improve, you get feedback, and by the way, at the end you're going to have a polished version of your product. Okay, so I hope this video provides value to you. These are the basics of the product development. If you'd like to learn more, you could Google and you could write to me. And for now, thank you for watching.